was gonna talk about the wildlife. Brian, don't you want to hear of a wildlife update?
I think we all want to hear what's going on with the birds.
Yeah, no, here's
Cornette.
what's happened is you've been suitably chastened on Twitter. And funnily enough, isn't that a coinkydinks? On Twitter, you were suitably chastened for saying these words, I don't care about the birds. Nobody cares about the birds. That's what you said, you hard-hearted Simon Legree. Boy, I'll tell you what, you're some kind of the heart of stone. Oh, this heart of stone. I said on the program last week, I was bringing my baby birds into it. You said nobody cares about it. And you're the same person who the week before that said you had been having confrontational stare downs with the deer, the cute little loving deer in your neighborhood there in New Jersey.
My property, my rules. They're on my property. I'm the one going out on my property, which I own. They're on my property. I should turn around and go back in the house?
Yes, you should, because here's the thing. You bought that property to build a house to live in. Well, the house is yours. They can't come in without knocking and you saying come in. But when you go outside, you're in the forest. And the forest, nature, the wildlife, that supersedes white man's law, Brian Last. That's the law of the jungle. And they were here before we were, and the deer get the forest.
Well, the last thing I would want to do is defend the white man here on the show, so I'll take your side here.
All right, well, okay. I'm just telling you, when you get superseded, boy, and the law of the jungle, and that's the thing. See, I was going to tell you, there's good news.
The law of the jungle. The law of the jungle, really?
The law of the jungle out there.
All right, the law of the jungle.
Let me continue. What I was going to say is it's been a bittersweet week because, I've given you the story of the baby bird, how I was in on this since the start. I saw the bird building the nest, bringing in the little sticks and the twigs and that big long strip of the Monroe Brothers wrapping cloth that's still hanging out there. You can still see where the bird built the beautiful nest, and then the bird moved in and the bird laid the eggs, and then the little babies were born, and I've been seeing the morning and the evening feedings with the worms when the little beaks and the little fluffy nappy feathers are coming up and the cute little thin necks. And they're so sweet, and I've been every morning and every evening. Hello, birdies. Good morning, birdies. Good evening, birdies.
It just takes one of those birds to shit on your shoulder for everything to change.
No.
Just one.
They're fine birds, and they're not shitting on because I'm in my house, and they're out in the jungle. We're each in our respective areas.
The jungle. Is that what you call the subdivision?
Well, it's the wildlife. No, I am not in a subdivision. Subdivisions are around me, but I am not in a subdivision. But anyway,
jungle.
So a couple of days ago, I get up first thing in the morning. I go to the bathroom window because I can see them closest there, and I look out and I go, "Good morning, birdies," and nobody's home. The birds have flown the nest. I've got an empty nest, Brian. And I thought, well, maybe I just couldn't see them. Maybe they're asleep, but Mama Bird will be back. But I looked again all day and in the evening and then the next day, and there's no activity. They've moved out. I had an emotional connection here. I've had a relationship with these birds. I was there since they built the house. They moved in next door to me. They had kids. We saw each other every morning and every evening, and now it hurt me. It left a hole in my heart that I couldn't go to the window and say good morning to the birdies anymore. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
But on the positive side, why are you laughing?
Behind every dark cloud, there is a silver lining, and today is the greatest day in the history of my life.
Oh, no, I'm not doing Jimmy Hart's. There is positive news to outweigh the heartache, because I've had heartaches by the numbers. But now I've told you about the baby deer. We saw the baby deer the day they were born. one in the neighbor's yard, and one over next to my house. And we've seen them starting to grow up, and we've talked about how they've been hanging out down under the redbud tree, right? And they're not babies anymore. Obviously, they're probably, I guess, they're 3 feet tall by now. They're getting bigger, but you can tell the young ones from the old ones because the young ones are still smaller, and they're both the same size because they were both born at the same time. And they've been just hanging around in the backyard and just, like I said, under the redbud tree or over at the shady end of the house. They don't even put the Monroe brothers over anymore. The Monroes can sit there where they'll be breaking rocks and stacking stuff, and they just sit right there. Guess what I saw 2 mornings ago that shocked me to my core, Brian Last?
I don't know.
We do not have 2 baby deer in the family in the neighborhood here. We have 4 baby deer. 4 of them, all the same size, all born approximately the same time as the 2 babies that I've been seeing, along with the 2 mothers, because I saw 5 of them at one time, all together down by the creek, which is the first time, and it blew my mind. So I've been seeing, I don't know which babies I've been seeing, but I've been seeing interchangeable babies. And then again this morning, there were the 4 of them out back while one of the mothers grazed. So we've got even more babies now that I can fawn over, to make a pun. See what I did there?
Very good.
You're just not, that doesn't warm your cockles. If your cockles,
I see the deer as a pain in the ass. They're nice from a distance, but I don't want them all over my property. I don't feed them. The idea of feeding the deer is so foreign to me. The idea of going out there and encouraging them to visit again.
Well, you don't want them to go hungry. This is a more populated area than it used to. Well, no, if they go out toward the road, they might get run over like Dear Abby did here a couple of seasons ago.
What do you feed them?
I don't want them out in the road area, in the subdivision area where kids can throw things at them.
What do you feed them?
And people can scare them. Well, hold on, I'm going to tell you that. But that's why I want them back in the back of mine and my neighbors' back areas where that we love them and protect them and don't want anything bad to happen to them. And I'll tell you what I feed them, and it's getting more expensive. The feed just went up $3 a bag, but there's a big 40-pound sack of feed that I get over at Feeders Supply. It's the number 27194 in their stocking system, and it's 40 pounds, but now it's $13 a bag. And I just got 6 bags, which was all they had, and I carry it down there in the wheelbarrow. But I'll have you know that, and I was excusing this for a little while because I thought, well, the mother's probably hungry. She's been, raising babies, and the babies are now, so they're eating. And also not only do the deer get to the feed, but also the squirrels and the chipmunks and the birds and etc. They have at it as well. So I'm putting a lot of extra down there. But then I also found out about 3 days ago why I've been going through so much feed, even so much more than usual. Guess what else I saw? Guess who's back?
The raccoon?
The raccoons! The raccoons have moved back in, a whole family. There goes the neighborhood. Those fat, greedy, grubby, grimy, Hoover fucking raccoons. They just go down there, and I watched the fat father and a fat mother and a little fat baby, and it's just like a fucking Hoover vacuum cleaner. They go over that pile of feed, and they've been persecuting me and perpetrating things against me, as everyone knows here that's been a long-time listener, for the past over 15, almost 20 years, since that home invasion that they perpetrated, that I had to fucking put a deadbolt on my attic door for, when that raccoon pried the screen loose off the attic fan and came in my attic and then proceeded to invade my home and shit everywhere, and the cops had to run him out. They come back for revenge. The Coons are back. Brian, I need to call Mysterion. But anyway, my old nemesis. So now I have to figure out a way to encourage them to not eat all the other kind, deserving animals' food. This is what I go through around here. Who else do you know that has a lock on the interior of their attic door, Brian, to keep things from coming out of the attic?
I really don't know. You may be the only one.
I'll tell you something else you don't know about me. Do you know that you can not only be locked out of my house, you can be locked into it?
No, I did not know that.
You need a key to get out of my doors both ways.
Who are you trying to capture?
Well, no, think about this. See, this is where Jim Cornette is so far above and so far in front of and so far beyond everybody else. I think on a whole nother level. Now, examine this, Brian Last, and think about this. I'm a person who, not anymore now, this doesn't apply anymore, but I used to travel around the country on a regular basis. I was on the road all the time. And wherever I lived, I spent a good part of my time away from it. So, here at the castle, I decided, I'll tell you what, if anybody ever breaks into this house, they're also going to have to break out. Now, think about this. Of course, I've got the burglar and the fire alarm, and it automatically calls the police or the fire department, and they call us, and there's ear-piercing sirens that'll fucking drive you to goddamn distraction and make your ears bleed, and motion sensors and glass break detectors. If anything moves inside the house larger than Harley Quinn, something's going to go off like a Roman candle. And there's those 100,000 watt LED lights I've got on every side of the house where I can turn it on at midnight and light the place up like a goddamn 4th of July parade. But just in case anybody was to counteract all of that and say they want to come in a window because they see these big, thick wooden double dead-bolted doors, they want to come in a window, well, they're going to have to go back out the same way, because if I'm not home, the doors are locked from the inside, too, and you need a key. And the deadbolts are extra deep in the fucking frame. So anybody is going to try to come in and steal anything, even if they think they can beat that fucking the police response time when I'm only a minute and a half away from the police department and the fire department, and they're going to grab something, they're going to have to climb back out the same window they came through because they won't be able to get out any of the doors. Now, isn't that smart thinking, Brian Last?
I guess so. You've kind of made your life your own personal little Twilight Zone. If someone actually dares to break in to get the gold mine of wrestling collectibles, you'll never get out. You will die with those St. Louis programs in your hands. Like One-Eyed Willie looking for the treasure, or, Chester Copperpot looking for One-Eyed Willie's treasure. No,
Chester Copperpot.
Goonies. You ever see Goonies?
Yes. I remember that. I just hadn't heard that name in a while. I like that name. Old Chester Copperpot. He was partners with Frank Copperfield, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Anyway, and here's something else that we should have mentioned when we were talking about the wildlife. How about all these? It's 4th of July is coming up. Don't be a fucking asshole and keep your goddamn fireworks to yourself. Don't shoot. I hate these people that shoot off their own fireworks in their own driveway. For fuck's sake, go to a goddamn professional fireworks exhibition. It doesn't have to be Thunder over Louisville. Go to your local city park where somebody's doing something under some type of supervision as a community thing, or watch it on fucking television. But don't go out and teach your kids how to blow their fucking fingers off and put their eyes out, blowing off goddamn amateur fucking explosives. You'll scare the fucking dogs and the cats and the deer. The dogs and the cats and the deer hate that shit. Harley goes crazy even inside the house every 4th of July because some wise ass over in one of these subdivisions behind us thinks he's goddamn fucking an explosives expert and tries to shoot off his own celebration, and it scares all the animals. Don't be an asshole. If you live in a subdivision where you can reach out your fucking window and shake hands with the guy in the house next door, consider his dog or cat. And this is the time of year when if a dog is outside in the yard and all this shit happens, they'll dig out or they'll hurt themselves trying to get out, and they'll run off and you won't be able to find them. And then you got to go and kill every single one of your neighbors that shot off fireworks. So people, for heaven's sake, just say, yay, it's the 4th of July. Let's have some hot dogs. You don't need to blow everything up and ruin everybody's goddamn day. For heaven's sake. Don't those people piss you off too?
Yeah.